Okay, good day, Almas. Let's begin editing your essays. Now, to begin with, I'd break this up into two sentences. Um, and so see if you can do that without my help, because it's very, very good practice to be able to look at a long sentence and then to break it up into two short, clear sentences. Okay, just watch the repetition here. Okay, now yeah, I find this sentence quite confusing. You can just say in all three regions, approximately 1/4 and 1/2 of the budget was spent on education. Okay, um, I'd look at rewriting this sentence. Okay, it's just a bit confusing. Okay, and this next sentence is not a complete sentence. So just look at it again closely and try to make it a complete sentence. Okay, again, this is also not a complete sentence. Interestingly, from 1/4, Derbyshire had more expense on community care and small portion on social services. Um, I'm not sure what you mean from 1/4. Do you mean Derbyshire spent a quarter of their budget on community care and an even smaller portion on social services? Okay, I'm not quite sure. Okay, okay, and here you could say in all three regions, the least amount of money was spent on the environment. Okay, now here you could just say overall, it's clearly the case that in all three regions, the most amount of money was spent on leisure. Begin a new sentence and say, in contrast, the amount of money allocated to the environment and social services in all three regions was comparatively neglected. Okay, so a few small grammatical issues, mainly in this area of the essay, but otherwise fairly solid. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, now this sentence is too complicated. You could just say, in today's modern era, the traditional modes of education are very much in need of being updated. Okay, this is a very good sentence here. Just delete the. Right, let's move to the second paragraph. Okay, here again, almost in general, I'm seeing this pattern of you use fairly complicated words, and I suggest that you just simplify things. Okay, so for instance here, firstly, it has been observed that the traditional way of learning sticks to the syllabus too closely. Or, okay, here you can just say, firstly, in the traditional mode of education, memorization, too much, there is too much focus on memorization. Okay, and then this sentence makes good sense. Okay, now according to the sentence guide, you don't need that sentence over there. Okay, now here your your example should just be about um what you spoke about earlier, which is memorization. So, for example, according to recent studies, because of the focus on memorizing content in traditional education systems, children who come from these systems show an inability to be creative and original. Okay, that would establish your point. Okay? And here I'd make this stronger. Therefore, it is clearly the case that there are shortcomings to the traditional way of teaching. Okay, now here I'd make a number of changes. I'd begin by saying, secondly, new educational methods increase creativity. Now, this sentence should begin with, this is because. So, this is because they allow children to think outside of the box and explore new ideas. Now here you've got an issue because this should be your example. Okay, so let me help out and provide you with an example. So for example, according to a recent survey of British schools, um, when when new teaching methods enable children to be more creative, uh, these children become better able to solve complex mathematical problems and to understand complex texts. Okay, so and then you can say, therefore, once again, it's clear that certain changes need to be made to the traditional system. Okay, so and don't forget about your future tense sentence here. Okay, so Almas, a number of small issues with this essay, but if you take my feedback into account, and if you listen carefully to the changes I made and the reasons why I made those changes, I'm sure that you'll improve greatly with your next essay. Okay, so remember to submit your corrections, and I look forward to reading more of your work in the future. Thank you very much.